Well, I want to start by thanking the previous panel. Normally a session on terminology and definitional consideration is dry enough to clear the room. So I was very pleased that it was interesting and practical. So I thank the last set of speakers for a great job. Of course, terminology in international regulatory and standard setting initiatives is destiny. Whether you're referring to a goal of process, regulatory cooperation, or mutual recognition, or regulatory harmonization, or a goal of outcome, convergence, equivalent, harmonization, these terms have different histories, they have different records of success to deal with a different set of concerns. And this next panel is going to start to move into that space and talk about how these approaches to the same goal, which is to have more consistent and compatible regulatory systems across borders, are being adopted in initiatives. And I'm very pleased to introduce the session chair to my left, Hans Holgerziel, who is the Professor of Global Health at the University of Groningen. In the Netherlands, he, of course, as many of you know, is also the former director of essential medicines at the World Health Organization. With that, I'll turn it over to Hans.
I'll stand here very briefly for a few minutes of introductory remarks, because I think when we sit behind a table, you can't see us. So I will be your moderator for the session this morning. I cannot speak without from WHO. I was at WHO for a long time, but I acknowledge my former colleagues who are all here: Lambert Drago, David Wood, Samuel Azatian, and many others. So please, when you want to know anything about WHO, go to them, not to me. The objectives of the session are actually to get us going today and tomorrow with an overview of the current regulatory harmonization landscape. What is happening in the world? And many of us know bits of it, but I think maybe it's good to present a little bit of a horizon tour on this occasion. And then so that we can identify some of the current harmonization initiatives. They were mentioned this morning. We'll go a little deeper into them. And while doing so, we will try to identify some successful examples of either harmonization standards or harmonization initiatives. So the lessons, I suppose also bad lessons, but let's try to focus on positive things that we can identify. That's what we will try this morning. We are well on time, and we have now 4 presentations, each of them 15 minutes, and we will have them one after the other, no questions after each of them. We start with this. You can see the program on ICH. Then we talk about PAHO, Latin American initiatives. Then we have Mike Ward on the Asia-Pacific initiatives. And finally, Margaret Namondo Sigonda, who has let me down in the previous panel. But Margaret, I think you are welcome to join us here. So we will have that 4 times 15 minutes, and that gives us about half an hour of discussion, which we really try to we will try to protect that half hour. So I may now invite Professor Toshi Tominaga, who is a professor in Osaka. Please go ahead.